Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode I'm going to show you all the new cool features of Photoshop CC 2015-5. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, my name is Serge Ramilly. I'm a French photographer living in the beautiful, the amazing city of Paris, France, and the sunny city of Los Angeles. In fact, I just came back from Paris after doing my Paris in spring. This is something I do every year. We had a lot of rain, but we had a lot of fun. I'm back in Los Angeles and I'm into my new studio where I will be doing tutorials. In this studio, I will be able to do some webcasts where I can answer people's questions in real time. A lot of new things coming up soon. But for now, I want to talk to you about the new Photoshop CC 2015 that just came out. It's got some really major improvement and some really cool feature. Let me show you. All right, mesdames et messieurs. So a new version of Photoshop is out. Photoshop 2015-5, not 2016. Nobody knows why, but it's cool. If you go to photosearch.com and you click on my gear, you can get 15% off the full Creative Cloud, meaning all their softwares, including Illustrator, After Effects, Adobe Premiere, the whole thing, 15%. Or if you only want to use Photoshop or Lightroom, you can get 20% off. All you have to do is create a free account, you log in, and you get access to this exclusive Adobe offers that we have. So let's jump over to Photoshop 2015-5. It's a major release, and there's some really amazing new stuff that I'm going to show you right now. First of all is the crop tool with the content aware. Very simple, but very powerful. If you take the crop tool, here is the crop tool. So I want to crop the way so that I have the horizon straight, so I can use a straighten here. You see, so I can follow the horizon here and press enter, not even press enter. But you see the problem now, I have this, which I'm missing pixel, and this I'm missing pixel. The new option is if you click here, and that's new on content aware, you make sure it's marked. When you press enter, they're going to use the content aware to fill that in. Now remember, if you follow my tutorial before, it could work, but I had to select it, I had to extend my selection, then I used content aware. It was like 3 or 4 operations. Now it does it automatically. And I'm going to show you an amazing hack when it doesn't work. Let me show this to you, but first, actually on this one, this is a very simple photo that I shot while of the Carnival in Venice. Same thing. I wanted to get more sky. I wanted to get a little bit more sky above them. So I can just click here on the crop tool and make sure content aware is on, and it's going to create the sky that I want. So it's just another example. You don't have to use it just to straighten out the photos. Let me press enter so that it works. It's going to take a minute because it has to calculate, all the missing pixels, but boom, check it out. Command Z before, after. I created a whole new sky just with the crop tool. So the crop tool is here, mesdames et messieurs. The crop tool is here. Now, let me show you something, a little hack that's pretty cool. Let's say that on this photo, I wanted to add, because I don't like that the tower is so close to the border of my photo, I wanted to add something here, and I wanted to add something there, okay? And I press enter. The problem is that when you do that, sometimes it's going to give you weird result, and every time you do it, it's going to give a different result. But I'm hoping for a weird result. Yes, it is. Look, now we got 2 times the church, and we got this thing going on here. That's pretty ugly. So let's press Command Z to undo, and let me show you this hack that not much people know. Okay, I'm on the same photo. I'm going to create a mask. Okay. Then I'm going to take a brush, B for brush. I'm going to right click and make sure my hardness is 100%. Make sure that my brush is 100%. Make sure black is my foreground color. And I'm going to brush this away. Now I'm making this transparent. Let me make this a little bit bigger so it goes faster. Or I can press Control and Alt on my keyboard and just slide my mouse. Okay, so I'm going to hide this. Now, I'm not erasing it, I'm hiding it, okay? And I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to hide that church, okay? And I'm also going to hide this thing here. Okay, now this is whole hidden, but that's temporary. If you right-click, disable layer mask, it's still there. It's just a layer mask. Now, I go back on here, I go back to the crop tool, and I make my photo bigger, like this. More on the top, more on the left. And now, I press enter, I got content aware that's failed. But I'm telling what I'm doing now is I'm telling him ignore this information when you do your content aware. Don't take into this account. I'm forcing the algorithm to only take into account the sky and the pieces of the city that I want him to take into account. And boom, check this out. I'm gonna erase my layer mask, and look at this. It copied the sky like I wanted. It copied this. Of course, you know, there's a few things that I can fix with the stem tool, but it did 90% of the job. Okay, and you can check out, I've got lots of videos on how to use the stem tool, but that's the idea. That's how you can protect elements when you use content-aware technology so it doesn't use. And it's really a great improvement, because before, when I was using content-aware, I always had a little edge, so I had to extend my selection. If you know, if you follow my tutorials, you know what I'm talking about. Amazing, amazing stuff. So that's my first favorite feature in this new Photoshop. My second one, this one is huge. This one, mesdames et messieurs, is huge. I'm going to duplicate that layer, and I'm going to go into the new filter liquefied. And it's got a new option. You see there is like a little line around his face, and you see here, there is a whole new thing here called face aware liquefy. Basically what it does is that it detects that there is a face. When I hover my mouse, I can see that it detects the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and everything. And now check this out. I think this is so cool. This is gonna, I mean, I'm sorry, but this is gonna change forever how people look in photography, because not everybody's gonna use it. And you know, as some, you know, I remember I read an article the other day with this English actress. She was asked what was her beauty secret, and she answered Photoshop. And believe me, this is going to be more true than ever. Check this out. Eye size. If I go to the right, I can make the eyes bigger or smaller. Bigger or smaller. Can make it very subtle. In this case, I'm going to make a subtle bit bigger. Eyes heights. I can make the eyes bigger, but you know, in the heights. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger on him. Okay, tilt. I can make him like this or like this. Maybe I'm going to make it a bit like this. Eyes distance, look at this. To the right, to the left. It's crazy. It is so simple. Like, this is something I never used to do in Liquify because I had a hard time using it. Now it makes it so simple. Nose heights. For anybody who's got a big nose like me, look at this. Down, up, down, up. Nose width. Ooh, I don't like him. I'm going to make a big nose. I love him. I'm going to make a thinner nose. Maybe a bit of a thinner nose on him. Okay, smile. He's already smiling, but I can make him smile even more, or the other way, not smiling too much. So I'm going to make him smile even a little more. Upper lift, can make it bigger or smaller. He's got a decent lower lip, so I'm going to make his lower lip smaller, in fact. Okay, mouth width, I can make it bigger or smaller. And mouth height, boom, bigger or smaller. Face shape, forehead, more forehead, less forehead. Chin height, more chin, less chin. I'm going to make him a little bit more chin. Jawline, a little, put on some weight, so I'm going to make him a bit smaller. Face width, a bit bigger or smaller. You get the idea. I mean, it's, of course, you have to be gentle. I think I went a bit crazy on something. You get the idea. This is not a tutorial on how to use it, but this new feature, awesome feature in Photoshop 2015. So it's just going to detect you have, and you can just play around with it. That was my second best feature. And my third and last best feature is the awesome new layer and masking tools, which replace the Refine Edge. Let me show you. So I can start off as usual with my quick select tool. This is my lovely daughter Marine. I'm going to make a little selection around her really fast with the quick select tool. Okay, and now we have a new option. It's called Select and Mask, not Refine Edge anymore. And when you click on it, you get this new window. You still have all the other options, but there's a few new things. And the first one that's really cool is you have different ways of viewing your extraction, but the new one is called Onion Skin, which is really cool because you can use this transparency slider. You see, here on the left, if I go on the left, I can see that my entire photo, and on the right, I can see my selection. So you can see I did a bad job. And what's really cool is now you have these brushes there. So the first one is actually the quick select brush. Let me show you. I'm going to put the transparency all the way here, and as I click on the plus select, you can see what I'm selecting. It still has the same behavior where you can press on minus, and it's going to unselect something, and then plus is going to reselect it. So that's really cool. And sorry, I took that. I shouldn't have taken that. I can put her hands back to make this smaller. Boom, 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 and like this. But you have also, to refine your selection, you can use this tool, which is the Refine Edge, just like we used to have it before. But now I'm mixing up two technologies. You see, I'm going to try to pick up all the small hairs, which is here. Boom. And but But you see now we have a sort of a transparency there. So I can use a third tool, which is basically a brush, a big brush with no feathering. So this is just to make sure that anything which is supposed to be solid in the selection is really there. Okay. And okay, there we have a little issue there. Okay, and you can just refine your selection like this, which is really cool because now you can really mix up. I can go back to the, with quick mask selection, and I can, I can zoom in and take it back and use the minus to not take this, and voila. Okay, and then I can go back and I can take this tool. And just the fact that all the tools are in the same spot is really cool because you can make really cool selection really fast, and it's it's just really much better than it used to be, because you can just I'm not going to do this. It's going to take me probably like 20 minutes to really select her out, but you get the idea. The fact that I can use all these tools there. So you have the lasso tool, you have the refine edge brush, the full brush, the refine edge brush, and the quick select brush all there. And you just work on your selection until you got a good result. You see. Let me do the hand, for example. If I wanted to do the hand, I can go here. I like to work mostly with the quick mask. So quick mask, when you press Alt, it becomes a minus. I can just go here, and it's going to try to erase. It's very intelligent. It's going to try to look for similar pixels and take them out. Okay, and you can go really small on this. I can go really small. It did a good job there. Okay, I can go plus on this one. Now I need to add. Okay, then I can go minus, and you just keep plus, plus, plus. Okay, minus. So when you don't press the Alt key, it's a plus, and when you press Alt, it's a minus. And so you go like this. And I like to do the heavy lifting with the quick select brush, and then you can when you really got something, you can just jump into the full brush. Same thing. It becomes a minus when you press Alt, and you can really clean up these edges really well. Take the time to clean up the edges. You can zoom in even more. I can zoom in, and actually usually zoom in at 300% when I really want to clean scenes up. So using the minus brush, and you're in the same window. And when you're done with this, when you're done with your selection, and as I said, I'm not going to take all the time. You just click. And you can see your selection. That's before the selection. That's after the selection. You can click on OK, and voila. So this new interface to make extraction just make it much more easier. Looks like the refine edge algorithm is working even better. So that's my favorite feature in the new Photoshop. I think they're really a game changer, especially for portraits and the content aware. Voila, I'm really happy about it. Now, mesdames et messieurs, if you have not seen it yet, my new landscape masterclass has been out for a few weeks. I've got great reviews on it. It's my best course ever. I'm going to show you a very long presentation showing you all the details about it. You can stop the video here if you've seen it. If you've not, you got to check it out. My best course ever, the landscape masterclass. All right, so this is my landscape masterclass. Now this course is a completely new way for me of teaching. I've been trying to think how I can improve my tutorials so that you can get more out of it. And I get a lot of emails every day, and the main thing that I'm getting is people sending me their photos and saying, oh, can you check them out? I would love to have your viewpoint on it. Well, and there's a few things that keeps on coming back in terms of mistakes, mostly compositions, sometimes too much retouching, or just different things about wrong moments of light of doing photos. And I thought I would really do a course that really takes you. That's the course I would have dreamed on doing when I started. Let me show you what it contains. It's got 48 videos, almost 8 hours of training, and it's in 11 different sections. The section number 1 is called the definition of photography, where we just really look at what the definition of photography, and I give you a lot of examples so that you can see what makes a photo being a nice photo, why it makes a photo being popular or not. That's really what I go into. Of course, it's my viewpoint, it's my taste, but we're getting back to basics from what the definition of photography is. Then I'm going to show you my basic setup on how I use exposure composition and how I take my photos, because taking the right exposure is is really the basics of the basics. So I show you an actual live example in Santa Monica in Los Angeles. Then I really go into different example of what different f-stops you can do and how you can use this for landscape. Whether you have something that's close to you or far away from you, or you want to get a starlight effect, what f-stop you should use in what different situations. Then we start going into different rule of composition, the rule of third. The rule of third, playing with leading lines, and I show you a lot of examples of that, framing the frame, foreground, middle ground, background, really tricks that I find over the years really help me get the right composition when I take my photos, and I give you lots of examples on that. Then we're going to go and we're going to do some live example of composition where I'm actually showing you through my camera a lot of different examples of how I compose my photos, and then we're going to go into retouching them, and then I start really getting into the different types of the lights that we have, how to make a great daylight photo come out with a lot of different examples. Daylight is really the worst moment to take photos, but there are some things you can do like black and white to really get some really cool daylight photos. Then we're going to do daylight special effects, because daylight is often boring, so sometimes special effect is going to help them make them pop. You got a great subject but it was shot in daylight. Well, I'll show you how you can do special effects to make that thing really pop, that photo really have a nice light despite the light was not that good. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of presets that comes for free with the course, and that's going to help you with your daylight photos. Then we go into shooting right into the sun. Golden hour. How do you shoot golden hour? How do you set your camera for golden hour? How do you retouch golden hour? I'm going to show you an amazing app. I did a full tutorial on PhotoPills. It's a great app which you can use to find when is the sun going to be where exactly. If you want to plan a photo and you want to get the sun between two buildings or above a specific bridge, well, you can use this app to find out which time of the year that's going to be. Super useful app, amazing app, PhotoPills. Then we get into the sunset. How do we use our camera to capture the sunset properly? How to get a right exposure and how to retouch sunsets. I'm going to give you a lot of examples. Blue hour can be amazing. Same thing, I'm going to give you live example of blue hours photos, how I frame them, how I retouch them. Different things, how to get a very natural look on the blue hour. Then I'll show you a really cool app called Salt that I use every day to find when is the right time to shoot photos. Then we're going to go into HDR, and this course has a lot of HDR. I've completely updated my HDR workflow, and I'm going to show you how you can use HDR FX Pro, which is free, to get some really cool HDR. I'm going to show you how to set up your camera. I'm going to show you how to use HDR FX Pro on 3 different projects. Then I'm going to show you how to use Aurora HDR on 4 different projects, which I think is the best HDR software out there. And then all the photos we did in HDR, I'm going to take them back in Lightroom and make them a natural version of it, so I can compare the HDR version with the natural version. Then we're going to go into one of the most powerful technique there is for landscape for a natural result is digital blending, and how to blend different exposures to get the photo you really want to have. Give you 2 examples on this. Then I'm going to do a lot of live examples of shooting for long exposure using ND filters in New Zealand, in Paris, and in Venice. How I've been using this to get some cool long exposure effects and how to retouch them. We're going to go into super long exposure, 5 to 8 minutes exposure. How do you do long exposure when you don't have a filter? How to properly shoot a panorama, how to hold your camera to make a great panorama. And then we're going to go into different types of retouching of panoramas, including some of my most favorite panorama ever. Then I'm going to show you a whole workflow on how to do astrophotography, how and where to find the Milky Way exactly, how to do your camera settings, and then we're going to do different astrophotography projects together, shooting the Milky Way. All this, of course, comes as usual with source files, but the big new thing about this course is that I have a checklist. What the checklist is going to give you is 2 things. It's going to give you a sequence of study, how do you go from easier to more complex projects,
but also it's going to give you assignments. I'm going to ask you to go, okay, now you learn about lone exposure. Go do a 5-second lone exposure, a 20-second, a 30-second using an ND filter, a variable ND filter, a fixed ND filter. And then I'm going to ask you to post your photos on Instagram with a specific hashtag so that I can see your progress and how you're applying the videos and how you're learning. But also so that you can look for these hashtags and see how everybody else is doing, and doing their lone exposure and doing the SGR. So you can check for the hashtags and see what other students are doing. Also, and that's not out yet, but next month I will be taking under my wing 20 to 25 photographers using this course on a special one-to-one project where I will ask you to send me the photos you've been taking as part of this course, and I will coach you on them, tell you if you made it or not, and at the end you can graduate from it. For now, this will be limited to 20 to 25 photographers, and I'm going to talk about this next month. If you're interested, you can always send me an email on my website, and there is already a waiting list for that because it's only limited to 20 to 25 photographers on the planet for now, where I really want to coach you through this course. And at the end, you're going to get an actual diploma where you graduated from the Landscape Masterclass. And once you graduate from the Landscape Masterclass, you can come to a special Facebook group where I will be doing career coaching every week with a different photographer. And you can see how I coach them because I will be recording the videos. But this will be only for the people who graduated this course. So stay tuned for that. That's not out yet, but the course is out. You can purchase it and you can start getting into it. And, I really think I did the best course I ever did because I give really a lot of examples from shooting to retouching on gradients, from easy project to harder and harder and harder. This is all I know, guys. This is all I've learned in 12 years. My work is in 85 galleries around the world. I've done 2 fine arts books. I'm doing a 3rd one now. There are pretty bestsellers around the planet. And I'm not saying this to show off. I'm just saying this. I've had the success with this. I've seen over the years things that work and things that don't. Well, I'm going to share you all my secrets, all the things that works. I'm really excited about this course. If there's only one course you ever want to buy from me, it's this one, the Landscape Masterclass. All right, guys, see you in one of my training videos.